Behind Britain's front doors, a battle is brewing.
He hasn't had his rent for ages. He's got 24 grand.
It is disgraceful.
On one side, 11 million renters.
This house is hell for us.
Thousands of whom fall victim to rogue landlords.
They are rat droppings.
It's really, really nasty.
On the other side, 2 million private landlords.
I've been down cleaner sewers.
Many facing financial ruin at the hands of tenants from hell.
Oh, disgusting.
I'm just so angry.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
In this series, we follow the heroes who take slum landlords down
Start a fire, electrocute somebody.
and the experts whose job it is to evict nightmare tenants.
Get that away, man! Remember what the court said, you should have been out 2 weeks ago.
People become landlords for all sorts of reasons. Some fall into it by accident. Through divorce, loss of a job or ill health, they need the extra cash to make ends meet. Which means if their tenants stop paying the rent, they're in real danger of being pushed over the edge. Six months ago, when IT engineer Rose Shabazz was out of work, she decided to move out and rent out her home to cover the mortgage. The problem started soon after her tenant moved in.
All of a sudden, she stopped paying the rent. I can't get hold of her on the phone. She's refused me access several times by text message to gain entry to the house to do inspections or anything like that. And she refuses to communicate to me as to why she stopped paying the rent.
Now owed £3,600 in missing rent, Rose is behind with the mortgage, and worse still, she doesn't have enough money to rent a room for herself. For the last 4 months, she's had no choice but to stay with friends.
The stakes are very high, very, very high. This has had a massive effect on my life. I needed the money in order to re-rent and to live somewhere else. And she hasn't provided me with any money, which has now made me pretty much homeless and sofa surfing. There was a couple of days where I slept pretty rough and I had to go to the homeless place, and I was down there, you know, with all the other people trying to find somewhere to stay, so.
Today, she's visiting her former home, desperately trying to persuade her tenant to leave and repay the missing rent. Her cousin Zayn has come along for moral support.
Hello? Hi. I come round to find out what's happening.
I'm moving.
When are you moving?
By the weekend.
By this weekend?
Yeah.
You'll be gone by Monday. Can I just ask what happened to the rent?
I'll sort it out when I'm gone.
You'll sort what rent out? How much are you going to give me when you're gone?
1 month.
Why 1 month?
Because you got my deposit.
Girlfriend, you've been living in here for 3 months. It's £3,600 you owe me.
Well,
Come on, let us in. What's the matter?
Oh, it's disgusting. She just slammed it in your face.
Well, that's okay, because we've got some time. We can stand around out here and maybe wait for you to come out. Maybe you might like to explain why it is that you can feel that you can steal my rent money. Well?
For Rose, the situation is spiralling out of control. She's falling behind with her mortgage payments and has nowhere to live.
It could be that I end up repossessed. I mean, I myself don't have any money at the moment. I've got a new job starting, but haven't started yet. So currently, no, while she's not paying me, I can't afford to pay the mortgage on this place either.
Soon after Rose's confrontation, 2 young men arrive on the scene who seem to be connected with the tenant.
That attitude didn't seem good. Neither one of them are her sons, so I have no clue who they are.
Rose tries once more to reason with her tenant.
Hi.
Nice of you.
Come out, you can't stay in there all day. What about my rent money? What about my rent money? Oh my God, you've got it all over you. Did they just throw paint at you? I can't believe they've done that. That goes to show you probably what I'm dealing with in the house here as well.
The young men are refusing to engage with Rose, but are clearly in no hurry to leave.
I didn't think they'd stoop to assault or of any kind. I mean, they're not good people. That's not any kind of normal behaviour. If they're going to do that, person they don't even know on the street, God knows what they're going to do in that house. It's not good at all. It's most quite upsetting, actually. I mean, this is my family home. It's not a property I bought to let. I'm letting it purely because of the situation that I found myself in. It's completely changed my life. It's changed everything.
For Rose, it couldn't be more critical. If she can't get her tenant to leave, she will have to go to court to get her evicted, which could take months, costing her yet more money.
I'm going to give her the whole weekend to move out and then come back on Monday and have a look and see if she's gone. And if she isn't gone, then eviction
Fingers
proceedings.
crossed.
Yeah, it's fingers crossed, but eviction proceedings next.
Last year, over 150,000 possession orders were issued against tenants who stopped paying rent and refused to leave. For small-time landlords, the rental game sometimes feels like Russian roulette. Get the wrong tenants in, and it can blow your peace of mind and your bank balance. Eviction specialist Paul Champlina has taken on a new case.
We are on our way to Selina and Lee Dagger's property. We spoke to them last week relating to their bad tenant who owes £10,000 in rent arrears.
The tenant has stopped paying rent and is refusing to leave.
So we're now on the way to start the eviction process, and we're going to try and help Selina and Lee get their property back, and we're going to serve the eviction notice.
This morning, Paul begins the eviction process by delivering a notice of arrears, giving the tenant 14 days to pay the outstanding rent.
So let's see if she's in. Hi there. A kid looked through the letterbox just now. Hi there. Yeah, hi. I've got a letter from the landlord.
Why should I come?
Pardon?
What do you mean by coming?
Yeah, I'm going to give you this letter. It's from the landlord. It's an eviction notice for the rent arrears that you owe.
Come out, I'm sorry. Go on, post it.
I'll put it for the letterbox, but you've got until the 7th of October to pay the rent. If not, then we'll be issuing proceedings, OK? The notice has been served now. OK.
The situation's made so much worse for Paul's client, Selina Dagger, as she lives over 4,000 miles away in the States with her husband and their 2 children.
She's so anxious because this tenant has been making her life hell. It's a nightmare having a nightmare tenant, full stop, not paying your rent, and then they're having to fund a new life in America. So you can imagine the stress, and it just takes over your life.
1 week later, landlord Selena Dagger flies in from America, preparing to take her tenant to court.
She's completely abused my generosity in the early days when I agreed for her to move in.
When the tenant, a single mother, applied, Selena agreed to a 6-month tenancy.
She told me she wouldn't let me down. We shook on it, and she's completely gone against her word. My heart went out to her. She was homeless. She had 4 children, and she needed a roof over her family's head. So I agreed to let her move in. She paid the first month in advance, and then the second month, she told us that she could only afford £1,250 instead of £2,000, and that's when it all just went completely downhill. The outstanding rent arrears are currently at £10,000, and we'd lose all our life savings and all the hard work that we've put into this just for this one woman's shenanigans, basically.
Her tenant has a few days left to pay the rent in full. If she doesn't, Selena's taking her to court to have her evicted. Owed over £3,500 in unpaid rent, Rose Shabazz is in a deep financial hole. Because she can't cover her mortgage, there's a real danger her house will be repossessed.
She promised she'd be out by the weekend. She's done this before several times and promised that she'd be leaving by date, so I'm not expecting her really to be gone.
Rose is trying a new tactic. Yesterday, she gave her tenant 24 hours notice that she wished to carry out an inspection, which is her legal right. She's hoping to find out what state her property's in and when her tenant plans to leave.
I have a right to do an inspection. Can you let me in, please?
Come back Monday.
Why Monday?
You can do your inspection Monday.
Will you be gone by then? You'll be gone Monday? Without a shadow of a doubt?
Her tenant has bought some more time.
All right, I'll come back Monday.
But Rose is determined to get her out.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's absolutely disgusting behaviour. I will give her till Monday. If she hasn't gone by then it's for me to get the solicitor to serve some proceedings on her.
Every year, landlords in the UK fork out £4.5 billion because of damage to their property by tenants. While most escape with minor repairs, others aren't so fortunate. A 23-year-old computer engineer, Harprit has been renting a 3-bedroom terrace to a young couple. The first 4 years were fine, but 7 months ago, they stopped paying rent, and Harprit is now £15,000 out of pocket.
The tenants were found through a friend. At the time, they were really good. I mean, they lived in the house for just over 4 years, or coming up to 4 years. They never really complained, never moaned. It's only when they were coming up towards the end of the tenancy, when we asked them to go, they stopped paying rent, and that's when they started falling into arrears.
First thing this morning, the tenants were evicted, but when Harprit saw the state of his house, he got the shock of his life.
In the main living room, the floor is gone. Skirting boards are lifted out. Floorboards have been ripped apart. The laminate flooring has been lifted out. You've got the live wires coming down over here. These are the main electric cables. And that's how they left it. You can see the electric's been taken out and been fiddled around with as well. They're taking the top unit of the kitchen. There was a black finish on top, just like the others. We had a washing machine there. It's gone. So the dishwasher would have been over here. It's obviously gone and ripped out. They've taken the majority of the switches out. The lights are all taken out as well. In here, there's actually 2 wires there which they've actually physically cut with a clipper of some sort. And that's live. So if had someone gone in there and touched it, they wouldn't be here today.
Harprit's house is a serious safety hazard. Unfortunately, the problems aren't just on the inside.
It's like a bomb site. It is a bomb site.
His former tenants have even removed the grass from the lawn.
They've obviously taken up the turf and gone.
Harprit's neighbours, Joyce and Sue, knew something was up when they thought they heard building work.
Oh, good Lord. I did hear a lot of tapping, a lot of banging.
That will be why.
So presumably that's what they were doing, taking the stuff off. Well, I do feel sorry for you. I had no idea that they would do this. No, I am astonished. I'm speechless. And they've taken all them plugs off. It's terrible. Oh, I've never rent my place out to anybody. You don't know who you're getting, do you?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Eviction specialist Chris Sharp has been handling the case. Harprit calls him for advice on what to do next.
Hi, Harprit. How are you doing? Mate, it's horrible being here. You know, I did not give the house out to them like this. I've got expensive laminate flooring lifted up. I've got skirting boards lifted up. I've got live sockets, the wires hanging out. It's all over the place. It's a mess.
Just beyond comprehension. I mean, what kind of people are these?
Monsters, mate. Monsters.
To be honest with you, Harprit, I would in the first instance advise you call the police.
With thousands of pounds worth of damage and missing property, Harprit feels he has no option but to report his tenants to the police.
The fact that they think they can get away with it, nah, not a long shot. The police have been informed wherever they are. And, you know, hopefully justice will be served.
Not only has Harprit lost £6,300 in unpaid rent and £3,000 in legal costs, he's now facing a huge bill to refit his house.
Give someone a home for just over 4 years, and they treat you like this.
Rose Shabazz has been back and forth to her home, trying to convince her tenant, who owes her over £3,500, to leave.
There's no answer at the moment. I'm going to just try my keys now.
5 days after her last visit, and after so many false promises, Rose is praying her tenant has finally moved out.
Hello? Oh, this is looking good. Hello?
It appears the tenant has finally left, but she's also left the house in a state.
Wow. Stuff all over the floor. I mean, this is just, who lives like this? Oh, it absolutely does smell disgusting in here. As you can see, there's cat poop on the floor over there where she kept cats in the bedroom. It smells really foul. There's paint all over this floor. This carpet was virtually new when she came in here. She's an absolutely filthy, disgusting human being. And I can think of a few more choice words that I'd call her. She's stolen my cooker. The range cooker was stolen from the kitchen. It was a massive 5-burner double oven range cooker that is now missing. As you can see, it's disgusting. My washing machine is gone. Actually, oh, this is actually still going. It looks like there's plenty of water going under there. Why would, I mean, she knew she had to leave. I mean, look. Oh! Oh, good Lord of mercy! What the hell? What do I do with this? I don't want to put it down. How is this still live?
The cooker may be missing, but the mains wire is still live.
Let's go get the mains. Some kind of mad booby trap. I'm going to get an electrician in. That is seriously dangerous. It's seriously dangerous.
Suspecting her tenant has taken her goods, Rose calls the police.
Hi, I'm calling because my tenant has stolen equipment from my house. He's stolen a cooker and a washing machine. I've tried to call her, but I can't get hold of her. No, I haven't got a clue. She's basically left without forwarding address. She hasn't left any keys. You pay hundreds of thousands of pounds for a house, you fix it up, you make it look all nice, you rent it to somebody, and this is what they do. I didn't give her a house looking like this. It's the proper home.
The police arrive in minutes.
So you don't know where she's moved on to then?
No, she's just disappeared.
But she told you she was leaving?
She did tell me she was leaving, yeah.
Have you been having ongoing issues with her?
I've not been able to get in the house for months, since November, really.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And she was paying her rent?
No, she hasn't been paying her rent. She hasn't paid me any rent since November.
Oh, we'll go outside and give her a call.
See what she says.
See what she says, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Hopefully she'll answer.
I will catch up with her again and she will have to explain this to me, and she better have a good excuse, that's all I'm saying. Did she answer?
No.
Oh.
What we're going to do, we're going to put a report on.
And I'm press charges?
Yeah, and if she gets in contact with you, I'd advise you to say to her, bring my stuff back.
Yeah.
If she doesn't, then obviously we'll have to deal with it.
Bye.
Rose wastes no time in getting the locks changed, while an electrician ensures there are no more nasty shocks.
It's all go at the moment. It's all happening all at once, which is handy.
She's lost over £3,500 and the place is a mess. But finally, Rose has her house back.
Thank you so much. Officially mine again. I've got all the keys. I got my keys in my house. Very happy. Ah, this is like the end of a really bad dream, so it's excellent. Now I know that she can't get back in here as well. I can start my cleaning process next, so that's what I'm going to do.
Landlord Selina Dagger is owed a whopping £10,000 in unpaid rent. She gave her tenant 2 weeks to pay the arrears, but has received nothing, and the hearing date has arrived.
We're going to court today to hopefully get a possession order for my house. It's been 9 months of hell, basically. You know, she was homeless. You know, I felt that I had to do the right thing and let her move in. But she abused my generosity. I had to cut back on all the kids' clubs, all my kids' clubs. Her kids, brand new clothes, they were still going to all their clubs. So she was okay, thanks very much. I just want it to be over. Yeah, nervous, not knowing whether she's going to be there. I mean, I'd rather not see her.
Selina is being represented by lawyer Julie Herbert.
For us, it's pretty clear-cut. The tenant can't afford to live there, so she needs to go and live somewhere that she can afford to pay the rent.
But her tenant turns up to court to fight the case. Selina's concerned she'll manage to delay the eviction process and cost her yet more money.
I'm worried what she's going to say, but hopefully the judge will see that, you know, it's gone too far.
It takes 10 minutes for the judge to reach a decision.
Good news, the defendant just admitted everything, which was great. The judge was confident that it was reasonable to make a possession order today.
Her tenant, who lives with her lawyer, has got just 2 weeks to move out. All Selina can do is hope she goes quietly.
Till she's actually out and the locks are changed, you know, and we've got the property back, I think we're always going to be in the back of our mind that something could happen. I just want to get back to the States now and just carry on, you know, as much as I can with my new life.
Two days have passed since landlord Harprit got his Maidenhead property back. While his tenants have gone, unfortunately for Harprit, so has the flooring, the skirting boards, several kitchen appliances, electrical fittings, and the grass.
Obviously, I'm not happy about it. It's not the way we left the house. It's certainly not the way we wanted back the house. And I can't really justify someone taking skirting boards and wooden flooring and, you know, plug sockets.
Before he calls the police, Harprit wants to call the tenants to find out why they gutted his house.
I've gone and typed the whole number in wrong. My hands are in so much, they're shaking. I don't know what's going to happen. Hi there, it's the landlord. I just wanted to know why you left the house in such a tip with skirting boards and floorboards and electrical sockets hanging out. You never told us you changed any electrical sockets. You're sorry. You don't want to talk to me because I caused you stress and problems and financial problems, but you left the house in such a tip. See? Cut. Now, apparently, they've said I've caused her too much stress, problems, and she doesn't want to talk to me. And apparently, she did all the flooring herself, and they were her sockets. She can't leave a place like this and say, look, you caused me stress and agony. Okay. Gosh, my blood is boiling now.
The tenants are claiming they refurbished the house and only took what was theirs. But the damage is still left for Harprit.
The house should definitely be returned, how you gave it to them. I did not give them a house like this, with floorboards and skirting, electrical sockets hanging out. I gave them a house to live in and move into.
There's no way round it. It's going to cost a tidy sum to put the whole house back to how it was. And that's on top of the missing rent. Getting that money back from his tenants will be a challenge.
They haven't broken me. I am still here. The house is still mine. And then hopefully we'll have someone better move in that will actually look after the place. And obviously pay me rent.
The private rented sector in the UK has almost doubled in size in the last decade. Yet incredibly, a third of privately rented homes in the UK fail to meet the government's decent home standard. This means thousands of tenants live in substandard housing that may even pose a risk to their health. Dave Marshall from Peterborough Council's Housing Enforcement Team is heading to a property where a family are in dire need of his help.
We received a report from a young man. He's emailed the council. He's complaining that he has extensive damp and mould, amongst other things.
Hello.
Hello.
Hiya. So, you want to show me what's wrong in the kitchen?
Right. We've got quite a significant, what looks like condensation damp problem.
Factory workers, Michael and his parents, have been living in the house for 9 months, paying £650 a month in rent. At first it was fine, but when the winter set in, so did the mould.
You wouldn't expect to see this in the average house. So something's amiss. Was your house? Did you have this much mould in the house when you first moved here, or is this something that's developed whilst you've been here?
I start living here, and this house I not find damp because fresh painting, you know.
Oh, okay.
It isn't just the kitchen that's in a bad state.
Quite a significant amount of mould growth here. I don't know whether to give it some food or whether to pet it because it's quite a furry wall. Needs a haircut. And it'll be here because of a lack of insulation. I mean, it's doubtful there's any insulation whatsoever in there.
Dave is a seasoned housing inspector, yet even he is shocked by just how bad the mould is. Michael believes it's affecting his parents' health.
My mom and my father are so tired. This house is in bad condition, and this is not healthy because it's not healthy. Now I feel bad. All the time I'm tired.
It's ridiculous. I mean, I haven't seen it like that before, I really haven't. All that crap, all that loose stuff is just, look at that. It's like stroking a dog. Cultivating somewhere here, isn't there?
As the mould poses a potential health risk, Dave needs to move fast.
Well, we're clearly going to have to talk to the agency and/or the owner of the building. I mean, experience tells you looking at this, it's going to be a significant risk, something that someone has to intervene on. So I'll see you again soon, and I'll write to you in 2 weeks.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Take care.
Dave's hoping the landlord and letting agent will carry out the urgent work on the house voluntarily. Otherwise, the council will need to force their hand and serve an improvement notice. Two weeks after his visit, Dave has got in touch with the letting agent involved.
Sent my statement of reasons to the agent, and they've obtained some quotes, and the landlord's decided yesterday that he's accepted a quote from a builder, and so now we have a date when the contract is going to start.
24 hours after getting her home back, Rose Shabazz returns to start the big cleanup.
Okay, let's do the disgusting bit. Oh, man. Look at this.
Not only did her former tenant fail to pay the rent, she also left the house in a state.
At least I know I won't get an electric shock down here today.
To make matters worse, the range cooker and washing machine have also vanished.
There are certain things you just can't prepare for. Definitely reference your tenant to the fullest. Treat them as if they're just a person you've met off the street and, you know, screen them in exactly the same way. Otherwise, you'll end up like me, cleaning your house and you've got no cooker and no washing machine. I'm scared to touch it. I think it's some kind of cat poop. Yeah, cat poop in litter. It's all hard and crunchy. Ew. That's disgusting. Ew, that's nasty. Much better. Didn't take long either.
Rose rented her home out to bring in some much-needed income when she became ill and was out of work. She now needs to decide whether she wants to move back into her home or is prepared to risk renting it out again.
The thought of actually giving this place to someone else again is terrifying. I suppose because this is my own personal home, so it kind of feels a bit like maybe I shouldn't. I'm sort of on the fence.
Having moved to the States, landlord Selena Dagger has been renting out her London home to a nightmare tenant who owes her £10,000 in unpaid rent. It's been an expensive and traumatic process, but today's the day set by the court when her tenant must leave. Selena can't afford to fly over from America again, so her sister Melissa is taking her place to make sure the tenant leaves without a fight.
She's thinking she may have to get organised bailiffs to get her out. So hopefully she's done the civilised thing and gone. Okay.
At first glance, it looks like she's left the place in good condition. Although there is one problem.
There were beds in this property, and those beds are no longer there, and neither is the tenant. I think we will deduce from that she has taken the beds. It's not very Christian, is it? It's an expensive mistake and an expensive lesson. And now this property is empty. They can get new tenants in, they can move on with their dream and what they're doing at the moment in America, and, you know, just move forwards, put it out of their mind.
The Daggers are planning to rent out their London home once more. The much-needed cash means they can make a fresh start to life in America. Three weeks after his tenants gutted his house, Harprit has been hard at it, putting his home back together.
In here, which is the biggest nightmare when we first saw, it's a lot different now. I am really happy about the flooring. I've got a fresh lick of paint in the wall. It feels amazing. I can play around. I'm not going to get electrocuted. And they turn on and they work.
Harprit is happy his home is back to its former glory, but less thrilled with the money his nightmare tenants have cost him.
I think I was supposed to spend at least about 15 to 20 grand. That's a hell of a lot of money. It's your savings at the end of the day. It's your life.
It looks like getting his money back is going to be a long and difficult road, not helped by the fact the police have dropped his case.
They said it was a civil matter. So again, I've got to go through courts and fingers crossed, I'm hoping a judge will look at the evidence and demand the money from him.
Aside from the huge financial burden, Harprit's really suffered with stress and worry.
The build-up to getting the house back, I couldn't sleep. But I can actually sleep at night and, you know, yeah, I can actually sleep at night now.
With the refurb almost complete, Harprit's making plans.
I've just literally got the kitchen to go in 5 days. This weekend I'm going out to get all the bits and pieces, to like the furniture, fridges, freezers, microwaves, kettles. After that, it's going to be let out to a new person, fresh start. I'm happy. My parents are obviously happy, my family's happy. I most certainly am happy because it's like this now.
One month later, and Rose Shabazz has given the house she discovered in Escalate a complete makeover.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Really, really excited. So I'm gonna do another little happy dance. And yeah, it's great. It is really exciting to be back home now.
Having started a new job, she's decided she no longer needs to rent the house out and can move back in herself.
This is my room, my little sanctuary. It's been nice to actually have my own space again after sofa surfing, and you've got your own room, wardrobe and everything. It's great.
And there's a welcome new addition in the kitchen.
This is my new range cooker. It's not as good as the old one. The old one was a little bit nicer and it had a nice fancy digital clock here. But it does the trick and it looks really nice. Hopefully that one's here to stay.
The police didn't find enough evidence to prosecute her former tenant for removing goods and have dropped the case.
They went round to her property and it turns out that it wasn't at her house because her kitchen is too small for a cooker like this. So I'm assuming that she sold it for the money. If I want to chase her, it would have to be a civil suit and go through the process like that. I just can't be bothered with it. Good riddance to bad rubbish, so I've got my house back, that's the main thing.
Refurbishing the house and having to replace her kitchen appliances has left Rose seriously out of pocket.
So far, I've spent £6,500 in replacing appliances, workmen, labour and stuff like this.
But having been homeless and coming close to losing her home, Rose is grateful for a fresh start.
I feel like I got my life back, I got my house back. You know, I can just get on and just carry on with doing things now. I don't feel like I'm burdened down with having to, you know, chase a tenant or anything like that, which is really good, so. And I'm just really pleased to have my house back.
The tenant claimed she wanted to move out earlier because of the property's condition and faulty heating upstairs, but couldn't afford to when Rose did not return her deposit. She said that a rent-free month had been agreed and would represent the return of her deposit, so she only owed 2 months' rent. She said that she had always been contactable and accommodating when Rose and her workmen wanted access to the property, even with little or no notice. But due to persistent harassment, she had shut the door on Rose. She denied there was animal feces in the house as she didn't own animals, said the paint on the carpet was an accident, claimed that she left the property in the same neglected condition she found it, and said that Rose would always have had to spend money on unfinished and ongoing work to the property.